Archaeological excavation site วัดชมชื่น The archaeological excavation site is in the east of Wat Chom Chön that opens up the evidences on the development of the history of Thailand since the prehistoric period. In 1988, an Australian scholar found the pieces of human skeleton around the riverbank in front of Wat Chom Chön and reported it to the officer of the Sri Sachanalai Historic Park project to proceed on the excavation. In 1993 to 1994, the excavation was done systematically and repeated again in 1995 to 1996 to renovate for conservation and displayed in 1997. From the past survey and the information retrieving from the excavation in 2005, the classification of the cultural periods is divided into 5 categories as follows. 1. The late prehistoric period of around the 4th century AD. The evidences are the pieces of potteries of rough textures with hands molding and the traces of firing. It was then presumed the timing when the community was small, the settlement was semi-permanent, and the people earned their livings by harvesting forest products and hunting. 2. The early historic period of around the 6th to 11th century AD in contemporary with the Theravada period of the central part of Thailand. From the excavation, 15 human skeletons were found, with heads up to the west. As a result of the finding of the ancient objects in the types of beads, such as the glass beads, carnelian beads, agate beads, and the baked clay bars, etc., were the same as those found in the Theravada cultures and similar to other contemporary sites, such as Ban Taling Chan in Sukhothai. It should be in the time of permanent settlement, and the community expanded, including the external communication with nearby communities. 3. The Khmer culture's period to early Sukhothai period of around the 12th to 13th century AD, with the evidences of the group of the 3 brick ruins monasteries with the traces of floods. It was in the time of developing communities into the town, and the center was Chaliang, with the main temples as Wat Prasi Ratana Mahathat and Wat Chao Chan. 4 and 5. The cultural period of Sukhothai to Ayutthaya of around 14th to 16th century AD, where it was found the most dense amount of the pieces of potteries, came from various kilns both in Sukhothai and abroad, such as Chinese ceramics of Ming dynasty. Up to the Ayutthaya and Ratanakosin periods, the ancient remains were decreased and found almost the pieces of potteries and Chinese ceramics of Qing dynasty.